Now, health officials have told Britain to go on a diet. Public Health England says we are eating too much and that obesity has become the new norm.
They challenged the food industry to cut calories in popular foods by 1/5 within 6 years.
Joining us now is the nutritionist, Monica Price. So good to see you, Monica.
Thank you.
How many calories are we eating and how many calories should we be eating?
That's a very good question. Well, the amount of calories we are eating is probably double than what we should be eating. On average, we should be eating about 2,000 or 2,500, and some of us are actually eating up to 5,000 calories a day. And that's the problem. And I can see why the Public Health now have said, we need to bring out this initiative to try and cut the calories down by 20% by 2024. And this kind of follows on from the sugary drinks levy that's coming into play next month, I believe. And what they're trying to do really is kind of saying to us that something's got to change. Obesity in the UK is actually on the rise, and that is something that we actually do need to think about and take stock and do something about.
Do you think these measures go far enough? Because Public Health England says 1 in 5 children entering primary school
Yes.
are considered obese.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that a staggering statistic? That's not a statistic that we should be proud of as a country, I don't think. And I think more needs to be done. And I think the way forward, this initiative is great, but it's a voluntary initiative. So they're not saying to the manufacturers and the food producers, you have to do this. What they're saying is, we would like you to do this. And of course, once it's voluntary, some people may say, oh, well, I'll try and do a little bit of it, but actually I'm not going to go the whole hog. And my concern is, how are they going to regulate it? How is this actually going to be regulated? That's going to be very difficult, I think.
Is targeting the fast food industry, in the pre-prepared food industry, really the solution? Isn't it more about education and encouraging people just not to eat that kind of food full stop, to prepare food themselves or eat simpler, fresher foods if they can?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. I think education is the way forward. I think what's happened is, when I was at school, we used to have home economics. We don't have that at schools now, only in the private sector. And when you do have the cooking in schools, they're cooking cakes and pizzas. And I know that because I'm working with schools. What we need to do is educate families, get the schools involved, I think, on this kind of initiative, because then the schools themselves can be educating the parents. And once we educate the parents, we're empowering them, if you like, to make choices. Because it's like anything, I don't really know much about computers. So if someone was to say to me, come and design a computer system, I wouldn't know where to begin. Likewise, if you say to a parent, do you know how many calories in a pizza, the chances are they actually don't really know.
There's an element of personal responsibility here too, though, because
yes, there is.
You don't have to be an expert to know that if you have one too many Mars bars, you're going to put on weight.
Yes, I think what people are doing is that we've become a fast food society. We don't cook anymore, which is why I think we've got to go back to education. If we teach children to cook, it's not only it's a life skill. It's something that's going to be with them for the rest of their lives. And then they have an introduction to food. They get to know where food comes from, how it's produced, what food is good for you, what's the healthier choices. Because as a nutritionist, I eat everything. And I don't believe in cutting out certain foods unless there's a medical reason to do so. And I think there's never been a time now in the UK when we're saturated by the healthy eating. It's everywhere, and so many celebrity chefs have jumped on board, of course. But we're still not getting to the root cause. So that's why I think schools would be really good to be involved in this kind of initiative.
And obviously you're a nutritionist, but it's not just about nutrition, is it? It's also about activity.
Absolutely.
And it comes hand in hand with the fact that more children are living sedentary lifestyles.
Exactly.
Fewer are running around and playing outside.
Yes.
We need an overhaul, don't we, of lifestyles?
We do. Again, when I was younger, I used to run outside and play for the whole day and never used to worry about it. Now children are more, they're just glued to their iPads, they're glued to their games, and they don't get outside. And of course, parents are kind of afraid, if you like, to let the child go out of their sight. So that comes into it as well. So I think, bringing in exercise into your daily way of life, and that could just mean just simply walking to work, walking to school, instead of hopping in the car. So it's just about making those small changes can actually make such a difference. Definitely.
Fascinating stuff. Monica, thank you.
Thank you.